Hey guys, what is up? Back with another week of Call of the Night Season 2. And from episode 7, something is telling me that Kyoko is Anko. Her mannerisms and even the way she dresses looks like current day Anko. Now, episode 7 did happen where we were brought to the past. We have a flashback, a lengthy one at that, of Nazuna, who's attending that night school, or basically it was a regular high school, but at nighttime they do have classes for those who don't go to school regularly, who doesn't have time during the day, or for whatever reasons there is. And this is where she met Kyoko. Now, she and Kyoko end up forming a bond, becoming friends and everything, and how Kyoko doesn't have the most pleasant life at home. And comes to find out that, like, with her parents, even though she technically thinks they should be divorced and everything, they do still care about her. So while she and Nazuna are rummaging through her father's stuff, she sees that he still has keepsakes that she has given him. One including a lighter, and the other a pocket watch. Who else in the series has a lighter and a pocket watch at the same time? That's Anko. Now, I did say I don't know if whatever happened, because she did end up losing her parents. She did state to Nazuna prior that she did end up losing her parents. Or I believe it was Nazuna that said that, and she was telling that to Ko. I may have mixed that up. But in the loss of her parents, I don't know if it was actually Nazuna that did that and she lost her memories, or Vampire did that and Nazuna was at the scene at the last minute, and that has led to Kyoko changing who she is, including her name. So we'll find out with Call of the Night Season 2, Episode 8. Yeah, somebody coming home. Not her. Ooh. Why she open up like the door? Like, dang. Oh my god. Oh yeah, Doraemon always comes out the closet. So where the mom at then? Yo, it's sad to see like how this friendship went, bro. I know I have something telling me. Yeah, oh, dad's having an affair. Okay. Oh, well, then again, Asuna doesn't know much. Yeah. Mm. I think she picked up the habit from her dad. And also, stress. Yeah. You know what? That's like a really good thing. Damn. Is that her pops? Yeah, that's her pops. He coming. Now you looking up her skirt. Okay. Okay. Yeah, because she's Sherlock, bro. She already knew about the plan. You just tagging along. No offense, Watson. Where is he going? Why you getting a taxi? Who was that? Who was that? Who hit her back so far? What? She really doesn't know. She's not even playing, bro. Is this gonna be a repeat like with Kabata and her mom? But she's half vampire, so she's half vampire, so shouldn't it cancel out? She should be able to walk in the sun, or she's just weak, but it shouldn't hurt her. Oh, they switch clothing. Mm. They stop caring. They think she done something. So where did he go? Yeah, because like what parent doesn't care when their child is outside all night? You would expect like, where were you, like, yelling because they're worried. Of course that's gonna break any child, because just like your dad is out here doing something, and then your mom is here just like she just doesn't care. To grow up in a household where people just don't care about you anymore. I mean, 10 years later or so, yep, there is. There is. Actually, there was two. One before Kaba, and now Ko. This is freaking Anko, bro. That's Anko. That's how Ko was feeling when they sleeping. Oh, that's just like Ko in the first season when she first met him. So she just couldn't take it. 2 a.m., bruh. What? Okay, who are you? Who are you, and what did you do, my dad? You didn't realize before that when you was seeing her and then leaving me and mom worried that, you know what? And mom, you a whole, oh my god. I have words that I will not say on this channel, but you got no spine. You gonna stay with a guy that mistreated you, that did not give two hoots about you, and hurting your own daughter at that too. You ignore her, but all of a sudden because he said sorry, you're gonna take him back, and now you actually gonna pay attention to your daughter. Yo, don't get me peeved off, bro. Yo, don't get me peeved, bro. That is so disgusting. And unfortunately, as kids, we just want our parents' love. I'm tired of this, bro. Like, oh my god. Oh. So she has all of his stuff. The glasses included. Yo, you just giving me pee, bro. Like, what? I don't trust this guy, bro. I don't trust him. Something's up with him. Don't man tell me this man got changed. The thing that went after. Oh. 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 It was the vampire that kicked Nazuna. Bro. Oh no. Oh. So that's where her hatred for vampires came from. It was. And thus, Uncle. And thus born Uncle. Okay, so you see how the opening is by Creepy Nuts and the opening is called Mirage? By definition, mirage means something that appears real or possible, but is in fact not so. Kyoko, now known as Anko, has been dreaming that her family can get together and be whole once more. Despite her father's infidelities and affairs, her mother being nonchalant, no spine. All remember at the end of the day, she's not a young kid, but nonetheless she's still a kid. You know, she was 17. And all of a sudden on the day of her birthday, her family decided to rectify and get back together. She's thinking, you know what, despite Nazuna being a little different, aka she's a vampire, it's okay. But she wasn't afforded any of that. Her father turned, and I believe, and I don't know who this vampire is because the vampire came out of nowhere when Nazuna was trying to track the father down. And remember, as Nazuna stated, in order to turn a human into a vampire, they have to fall in love. Meaning, her father lied directly to her and her mother's face, saying he finally saw the light and he cut off the affair. He's very much in love with his vampire parent because he couldn't have turned. Whoever it is was trying to stop it. Now, I don't know if that vampire is still lurking because Nazuna was not able to get a good glance on who that individual is. But more likely, they're still lurking about. Right? In all honesty, I thought it was either one, again, Nazuna could have succumbed to her more darker traits, right? It could have. It's possible. It is highly possible, especially if she probably was at a moment where she was not drinking any blood. It would have been possible. Not saying that she's a bad guy or anything, but it could have been possible. Another possibility would have been, again, like I stated before, a vampire came and basically took out Anko's parents, right? And somehow Nazuna was there. She came after the fact. And then Anko could have came home and saw the mess and blamed Nazuna. That's why honestly I did not want to think. And I went back to go watch the opening. It just showed the father disappearing, but I'm thinking I'm not really connecting the two. But you know what? If he disappeared that fast, that means that, you know, that's some vampire type activity and everything. So this whole time her father was messing with a vampire, right? And he knew the vampire had to have told him, or probably was keeping secrets, who knows, and changed him. It changed him. Anko's life turned a whole 180. All she wanted was her family to actually care about her, and she was not afforded that at the very end. And I believe with her wearing remnants of her family is to keep her drive, especially her father. She has his glasses and the lighter he used. Well, it was a gift to him, but nonetheless it was his, right? And she's smoking just like her father. Something tells me she's also smoking the same brand. I believe it's her drive for her to take out vampires, because her father especially broke her heart immensely. And on top of the fact, not only did he break her heart by destroying their family, now on top of him being a vampire and ended her family right then and there, she feels like now this is her justification to go after every single vampire that has ever existed. When truth be told, I believe she's taking her hatred for all vampires to the extremities, when technically her beef did end with her father. But you can't try to, what's that word? You can't try to speak anything of, sanity towards her. You can't speak within reason towards her, because just like that moment when she was crying to Nazuna, that was her bearing herself out as someone that's been hurt by her family, and all she wanted was her family to be together. Like she admitted that when she was younger, yes, she was cared for by love, but due to the callousness of her parents, due to the secrets and the lies and just overall the uncare from both her parents towards her. Even when she said she went home that night and her mother couldn't even give her a glance, she didn't even yell at her for the sake of, like, she was worried, wondering where her 17-year-old daughter was all night. She completely ignored her existence, and then when she decided to actually acknowledge her daughter, it's because she decided to go and suck up to her cheating husband, and then pretend none of this, like she slept. That's why I just couldn't get behind it, because I'm like, all Anko really wanted was to have a genuine, loving family. And nobody in that room was able to really look at the situation in the eye and call it for what it is. Her mom didn't have a spine to say, you know what, I'm gonna up and leave, because if you can't respect me enough, and let alone respect our daughter, I'm taking me and my daughter out. I'll figure a way out. Because the father couldn't be loyal enough to stay in the family. He went up and decided to go mess with somebody else. And then in return, messing with that person he fell in love with turned him into a whole vampire. And this is where her hatred, and this is where her drive, by wearing her father's glasses and having his lighter is her driving force for where her hatred and her sadness and her remorse to put on a target, which is vampires. And that's why it's like, when it comes to her and Nazuna in that past, it's like, I feel like there's this small part of her that does care for Nazuna, but her rage clouds her vision. It clouds it. Even 10 years later, it still clouds her vision. And I guess this is why she also is trying to persuade Ko to stay away from Nazuna, because she probably sees herself in Ko, and she doesn't want him to be another victim. Because what happened with her family, she thinks now Nazuna is no different than any of these other vampires. She's quite frankly discriminating at this point, despite her history with Nazuna, despite being friends who understood each other. So she's projecting, and she's projecting onto Ko and even his friend to stop them, so nobody ended up like her. And also with the fact that she's purposely searching for the things that mean the most to the vampires when they were still human. And what makes it scary in this case is because Anko may be the only one who, she knows Nazuna the most, right? Probably not fully, because given the fact that Nazuna doesn't have much memories aside from like when she was just staying with Kabra. By then she was already, who knows if she was a teenager or an adult already, and she only had the memories of a baby. But Anko has the highest chances of finding what that special thing is for Nazuna. Which is scary because, again, given their past with each other and all that stuff, she's the one who's most likely to hurt Nazuna in the worst way possible. But she's been holding off for 10 years. So it's just like, that's why I said she probably still inside of her still cares to some point. But who knows? Who knows? All the other vampires, she don't care. But with Nazuna, because she could have finished off Nazuna. I wrote that whatever research she found out, she probably found out years before the current story taking place. And she could have easily took out Nazuna. Unless she can't find what Nazuna actually truly holds dear to her. Because again, her memories were not all there. She only probably has only a couple of years of memories surface. So I don't know. But this, oh my god, I did not expect that. I did not expect that. We all thought this was a chill series. No, it is not. No, it is not. So I don't know how this is going to go. Probably by the opening, it probably not making Nazuna look, very evil and demonic. But I feel like they may butt heads and possibly try to fight. With the last few episodes. I could be wrong. But yeah, I did not expect that at all. That was a twist. I did not see that coming. I honestly did not see that coming. Nothing could have prepared me for that. And I'm glad that like I was able to realize, wait, hold on, that's Anko, but like along the line, she obviously changed her name, most likely legally, to change her name so she wouldn't be detected for what she's doing. But it also makes me wonder, like, I probably would have to go back to season 1 to see how Nazuna acted when she first met Anko, or not first met, but first saw her again after all these years, if she had a look of surprise. I may have to go back and look on those episodes when Anko first made her introduction into the series and when she crossed paths with Nazuna for the first time. If Nazuna did act, whoa, hold on, like she saw a ghost, But if you guys already saw Call of the Night Season 2 Episode 8, do tell me in the comment section how you felt about this episode. If you're second, third, or whatever time, overall, did you speculate it was the dad, or did you also have the same thoughts that it was another vampire that did it? If you read the manga version of it, of course, no spoilers, but do tell me how you felt about the comparison between this episode versus the chapter it was adapted from. Those who just watched it for the first time, anime onlys, do overall tell me how you felt about episode 8. And the links are in the description box. You guys go check it out. And I'm Kimi-chan. And I'll see you guys later. Bye! With